We are live from Dubai with my friend, greatest friend.
Thank you. It's an honor and a pleasure to see you again. It's been too long. Last time was Desert Classic, if I remember, by the putting green, 3 years ago. The first year back from Corona, I think we saw each other
Quickly, yeah.
just for a few minutes, and then before that, long time ago. But we had a lot of conversations on the telephone, sharing knowledge, experiences, and I think that was the inspiration to do what I continued to do as a coach, sharing knowledge, giving education days, seminars. Wrote 7 books.
Wow. Tell us about the 7 books.
Yeah, I actually gave a book away for COVID, trying to get people back into wanting to practice and play golf. And what I felt is the awareness of how to improve. No one really discusses that as a coach, and you and I had a lot of conversations about being conscious in what you want to achieve and how to achieve it. So I implemented that a little bit in the book, and it was 4 aspects of the game with structured ways to improve. For example, we have a short game, wedges. Understand what length of swing, awareness of speed, the trajectory to give a distance. And if you can have a repetition and awareness of what you're doing, your success factor will increase. And I was doing that with the putting, and I just said, you know what, I just give it. So I'd done an online version to start with, and we achieved about 3,000 downloads. And then I said, I'm going to give it away. So I got 2,000 printed, 1,000 in Dutch and 1,000 in English. And the Dutch versions within a month were all given out. And now I'm busy with the English version. So if you're in Dubai and you want a book, you can always send me an email, philallengolf@me.com, and then that's a personal email, and then we can meet in Dubai, and I can give you a signed copy of my inspirational book that started getting me the publications. So it's quite cool.
Are these books for kids, for everyone, or just for adults?
It's for every single person that plays golf, and I'm a believer when you've got knowledge, you should share knowledge. And I've had the opportunities of meeting some very, very knowledgeable people in my life on the planet, and they've always said to me exactly the same: if we can share, we care. So it's for a child to start playing. You can even go up to a scratch golfer to give structure, to maybe say, I'm not quite good enough to make it on the tour. Why? If you follow structure, awareness of what you're doing, you can achieve it, or you've got a better chance of achieving it. The pressures and the mind matters on the golf course, and that's not my job. I can get the ambiguity on saying, well, this is what we see. Why didn't that succeed? What happened? And it's giving the answers or the communicational attributes that you try and find the answers together. And that's a little bit what I wanted to really share in and around the golf. So it's an inspiration from others, which has driven me to do what I do as a coach.
It is pretty intense what you are saying regarding the generosity, your generosity of sharing the knowledge you acquired from the past, people you meet. How about players on tour? Do you think they need to share more what they know with others?
I think yes. You see a lot. There's a few countries that the tour players do get involved with, but it's still a closed circuit. It's a closed network, and I feel if we can see like Thomas Bjorn, he's sharing his experiences. How nice would it be if they could put it out on tour? Why are we successful as amateurs? Why are we successful producing golf professionals? I think that's going to make the whole tours a healthier place, and I think more people are going to want to play this fantastic sport. Because if it's too difficult, people, or look to see as if it's difficult, people are not going to want to start playing. So if they're seeing, and like myself, and I'm over here with 14 clients from the Netherlands, and we're ranging from European tour to recreational beginners that have no idea, and every single one has learned through process. And if I can share that, and I'm putting a lot out on social media with clients, drills that I've given them and whys, and that's coming over again positive. So yeah, and if I don't know the answer, I know someone that will know the answer. And you know, sharing is caring. It is how it is. When you and I were working together, I think it was even 10 years ago, when you were analysing one of my players, you said, look at this, look at that, and it's noticeables that you see as a person completely different to what I see. And when you've got that communicational attribute, you're going to improve the player. So then the triangle of connections will create improvements, and that's what I see, or what I miss out on the tour. There's too many coaches that keep the information to themselves. You know, or if I share, he might become better than me. Well, then you're not believing in your own qualities. Yeah. So,
Very good point you're raising in here. I think we need all the people that have acquired the knowledge to share them, because they will themselves learn by feedbacks, by criticism, by comment, sometimes by complaint. So I think putting something out to be viewed, reviewed, I think it's very essential to self-growth as well.
Yeah, but it is. If you look at the guys that have been out on tour a long time, players, coaches, caddies, you see a lot more that the caddy are helping the new boys on the block, you could say, because they've got the experiences, they've seen the golf courses numerous of times, different conditions. But the coach that will help wants to have a monetary value in return. But that shouldn't always be the case. A good experience, I got connected to an Egyptian player. He was struggling and couldn't find the connection of a coach. And I said, okay, let's just have a quick chat. So 40 minutes, telling him a little bit about myself, what I stand for, what I believe in. And it always will go back to the awareness and consciousness of what the player wants to achieve. I said, because if you don't know yourself, how can I know you? Because I need your feedback, your honest truths of whys. And then it was wow, and this and that. And then we went into putting, and same as, what do you want to achieve? What's your start line? What's your speed aspect? And what's your inner conscious on a movement? What is your feedback? Yeah, I don't really have one, he said. So we went through the base fundamentals, got the aim. This is all online. So
online?
Yeah,
wow.
via WhatsApp. He was in Egypt. I'm in Dubai. Let's see if we can get you set up. Got the camera? No. Get the camera in that position. Okay, this is what I notice. You're doing this and this in the stroke, resulting in this reaction on the golf ball. So let's first get the muscular connections there to get the feeling and the sensation back in the putter head. Ask the questions. What's your sensation? What do you feel? He gave me answers. And then from there, we had growth. We expanded. A long story short, he missed 4 cuts before me, and then he finished his second. So it's not the point I changed his technicalities, I changed his mindset. I changed the way he perceived a putt. how he went into a putt. I said to him, make sure you make notes, your stats. Did you hit a fairway? Did you hit a green? What was the proximity? What was the distance? What was the club? What was the proximity from the hole? How was the putt? So he was busy writing down information which took the stress out of the tournament position. So being awareness gets the body in a relaxed state because you're going through a certain planning process. And then, he unfortunately didn't win the playoff, but he done really well as an amateur player in the pro rank. So if he can continue, I think he'll do well.
How can you explain to someone like your player, like you just explained, how can you get them more self-aware on coding information? How do you do that?
For me, it's how eager are they to want to improve? Yeah, that's all within yourself, isn't it? Do you want to have change? And if they say yes, I want to improve, and I need to change, I then say, what do you think you need to change? I always ask that question, and they give answers, and then relative to the answers, I leave more questions because I want to see how eager they are of the consciousness and the self-belief pattern that they actually truly have. The self-talk, what happens on a miss hit? Do you react, next shot's going to be better? Or do you become upset? How's the emotional involvement in results? Do you get excited when you hit a good shot? Do you get upset when you hit a poor shot? Or do you stay in the middle? And from there, where we're trying to see what the character is of that person, then you can work on, okay, if you're on a certain situation with a dog leg with the wind and you're not feeling comfortable with the shot, you actually focus on the outcome before you've created the visualization in yourself. The outcome is just going to be a reaction. So if you're thinking negative, it's going to be negative. Or I hope. I don't like that. So I work really hard with the performance training, and every time it's what do I want to achieve? I want to achieve X, Y, and Z. How do I achieve that? I know the answers, knowledge, and then they commit to it. Did it succeed? Yes, no. If it's a yes, fantastic. No, why? What happened? For example, they want to hit a low cut and it ends up overcutting. Why? Did you hit the sweet spot? Actually, no, I hit more to the hill. So gear effect created the miss. Knowledge. Okay, play the shot again and focus more detailed on strike. So they go through that, focus on a strike pattern, you could say. Did you achieve it? Yes or no? And that's how I try and adopt a different mindset to achieve. It's not always the technique. It could be the perceptive mind pattern which could work for you or against you. And 99% of it, if it goes wrong, it's because you are thinking of negatives.
Do you think when you explain to them the process and they do it, they get some self-reward and how it works?
Okay, I had it was an English gentleman. This is actually quite funny. Last week we were here on the range and never seen him before. Had an email discussion, asked questions. So I knew a little bit about his golfing career, and he actually lives just down the road from where I come from in England, in Basingstoke, and a member of the same golf club where I grew up, and it was quite cool. And then we started off. He said, all of the coaches that I've been to, he said, this is where I was really scared. He said, I need to get worse before I get better. And I said, I totally disagree in that. Because if you get worse before you get better, that means the coach isn't doing a very good job. Then he's trying to teach you something that actually doesn't match you as a person. So he said, what? I said, so your body will only move how your body wants to move. I'm not going to change your golf swing. I'm going to change your perception on how you foresee a golf shot or how you foresee something. So I said, okay, this is what we're going to do. So I've done a video. I said, well, this is your golf swing now. What do you see? Oh, it looks horrible. I said, but does it look horrible or it's not working? I said, because it doesn't need to look nice to work. It needs to just be repetitive. So we changed a little bit of the setup, and then as a reaction, we changed the dynamics of the golf swing. As a reaction, we changed the release pattern. As a reaction, we created a different result. And I gave him a process. He sent me a WhatsApp after the first session, and he said, this is mind-blowing. Sticking to processes. And this is a gentleman, a handicap 20. I said, so you can imagine how strong this is if you can do this as a scratch or a European Tour player. It's the same. The brain likes simplicities. So keep it simple. And we went through and through and through. He said, I could never hit a driver. And then we changed the process of how he perceived the swing of a driver. He was hitting drives 220 meters.
Instantaneous.
You know, and why? Because he believed in the motion. His brain accepted the simplicity, the dynamics. Think of, what was it we said? Swing direction. If you swing away from you with face closure, it's never going to go out to the right. And he went, what? I said, physics. No. And then we started talking about physics, about dynamics, giving him knowledge. And what did he do? He understood. Because of understanding, he can even make the change. He hit soft draws with a driver. Okay, we lofted up to 12 degrees, but he could still do it. And every time he had to give me feedback. Even if it was in a message or at the end of the day, I wanted to understand his emotion or what he perceived in a motion. And then from there, it created the consistencies. And straight away he said, Phil, next year I'm coming back. You know, that for me is such a rewarding element of my job. You know, I'm not just a technical coach. I like to change knowledge based, thus, as we said at the start, the books, the education that I'm giving. It's just to share. You know, we live once, and if I can put a legacy down of this is what I know, and if someone could then improve that part, we're only going to get better and better. So going back to another part is, why is the average handicap still 18 with all of our technology? We've got all the technology improvements. We got launch monitors, ground reaction forces, 3D analogy. We got everything, and we're still only averaging an 18 handicap.
Why?
I think a lot of the people that have got the materials they actually don't know how to use it.
Maybe the material is designed wrongly.
Or it could be that your measurements is still algorithm, which actually doesn't make sense. I'm not into that science. I would love to, but it's not my field. But I feel if you can look into the neurons, if you can work out how the brain is creating signals as a coach, and you can bring it across, you have to improve that knowledge base, which will improve the player, which will again have a chain reactional state of that. And if we've just got technology, ground reaction forces, we've got force plates out there, we all know about the kinetic change of motion, but if we're trying to fit something up only in kinetic changes, but you're not looking at club dynamics, you're not looking at the ball dynamics, and you're not looking into more details, the emotional factors, how's that person going to get better? It has to be more complete than what we're doing at the moment. Am I close to doing it? I'm maybe a little bit closer than the rest, but even now I will ask people questions if I don't know answers. I need to improve my knowledge daily.
Do you think upgrading your knowledge as you are aiming to do is necessarily to even the best players in the world, or just they are scratch golfers, they're good players, major winners, they need to stick with their knowledge and they stop there? What do you think?
Every single player on the planet needs to keep improving what they know in the sport. Yeah, Tiger, he's one of the guys that I look up to as a coach. McIlroy as well. If you look at how they've become more conscious and aware of wise, Tiger done an interview on how he says, yeah, my old swing, before I got injured, I'd done ground reaction forces. Now I have to work a different reaction because I can't use the ground because of my leg. I now use a rotational force which creates the speed, but I need to be careful because that's got a maximum torsion I can have on my back. So it's every time finding limitations on what I can achieve. The guy, in my eyes, that's a hero. He's working it out every time how I'm gonna beat Jack Nicklaus's record. Goosebumps. There you go. It doesn't lie. The guy is amazing. Rory McIlroy, what he's been giving back to the sport, his knowledge, his awareness, the consciousness of what he's creating in his game of golf. Why did he not succeed? Why did he succeed? Working the things out. Matt Fitzpatrick, every single shot's recorded. I want to know what I do in certain conditions, certain situations. What happened to the ball? Why did it carry X longer, shorter, spin access changes? Was it through strike? Was it through weather conditions? How did it work it out? Getting knowledge, getting databases to improve. And you know, Tiger, will he win another major? Definitely. When? I don't know. I haven't got the glass ball, but he will win numerous more majors. He will. He's got the correct attitude and mentality to do it.
How someone like Tiger can identify all the time his compensation, because it's all compensation, as you said, huh? Knowledge, of course, but then if something is not working, you need to compensate with other things to be working. So how can, for example, someone draw the ball or fade it in golf course, like, I mean, many golf courses, Augusta,
Yeah.
you will not need straight shot every hole. So
yeah, the Masters Augusta is a draw bias golf course.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, hole one you could hit a little fade down now, I suppose. Hole two's a draw. Hole three's a draw. Hole five's a draw. Hole seven's yeah. It's actually a draw bias golf course. But if you see what you're saying, the compensational attributes of a golf swing, Tiger knew something. He actually felt the emotion. It's not working, so he didn't compensate. He changed. He amended, he improved. So he's working through the mechanics. If I don't change, I can't win. I feel my body has a limitation. So with him, he's going to the correct sports science. What can I do to get the maximum out of me as a body, to be repetitive, and create the score? I got to hit the ball less than the rest. That's my objective in this tournament. How am I going to do that without being in pain? So that repetition, I need to be able to create. I might be limited on how often I can do that because of the state of the body, but the state of his mind is so powerful, he will go through it anyway. And then the next day, maybe regrets, I don't know. But the guy, he wants to. He's got the eagerness and the drive, the ambition to want to win. And I think all of the guys that are out on tour that are trying to make it as a career, I'd say the majority of them have got that same drive. The guys that are out there because it's a good life don't last. It's the guys that are driven to want to get the job done, to want to improve, analyse their game. For example, Tiger, there was an interview done a few years ago. Yeah, he's not the best short game player in the world. He's not the best iron player in the world. He doesn't hit it the furthest. He doesn't hit it the straightest. But when it matters, he can get all the components and still win. And it's that one shot, that one needed time that he can pull it off. You know, the 17th at the Players, when they say it's better than most, he's holed a putt that had, I have no idea how many breaks, and he's done it at the right time, at the right spot when it needed to be done. That's where you know you've got a true champion and the Hall of Fame. No one will ever forget the name Tiger Woods. No one. Even if you talk over 50 years, everyone then playing golf will know Tiger Woods. The legacy he's put towards the game. And it's amazing.
This hunger, this drive Tiger had, and he still have after all. I mean, what he had troubles in his personal life, off the golf course, on the golf course, his illnesses, his accidents. What do you think any golfer or any athlete need to have in mind to keep that hunger and drive?
I think for him, I need to break the records. That's his self-motivation. Even when he was when he won the US Amateur the second time, I need to beat Jack records number of majors. That's his goal in life. That's his life goal. And I think you need to be driven for goals and achievements. Same as what do you want to achieve today? What's your micro goal for today? What's your micro goal for this next hour? And I think that's in every successful businessman, sportsman. They've always set goals, and that's what he's done. He set goals with his swing characteristics, with his swing changes. I'm going to give my time frame of X to get this swing in. When he was the best, by far the best player in the world, and he says, I need to change my swing to get better. But you're already, 100 points ahead of number two. Why? Because I need to be able to repeat it even better. So I'm even further ahead than the rest.
Ahead of time,
yeah. And he has a team around him that he listens to. And I think he has a filtration of the information. You know, the guy's gone through divorces, accidents, surgeries. He's gone through hell and back, and he's still out there to win. You know, any sportsman on the planet would have to take their hat off to that. You know, you break your leg, you win the US Open. Come on. How many people that even have a slight knee injury just pull out of the tournament? You know, you could say a golfer's a sissy, but he's changed it into a man game. It's not a game anymore, it's a sport. And I've gone through the thick and thin of in the gym, looking after my health. Last year, I had spine surgery. I had 14 nerves killed in the middle of my spine. Wanted to play golf. I can play again, and then from that, it actually brings you back down to earth from how delicate our body is. Resting up, I didn't like it. So what was my achievement? Each day, I'd like to wake up and I'd like to be able to walk, instead of a mile, I want to 100 yards further every day. If I can improve a yard or 10 yards or whatever every day, I'm becoming better. Will I be able to lift weights? Maybe, maybe not, we'll see. So each time I wanted to improve my physical state. I had my last injection on nerve killing on the 5th of December. It's now the 1st of March. Last week was the first week I was pain-free.
Pain-free?
Pain-free, completely pain-free.
How does this feel?
you can't explain how it feels. The emotional satisfaction to saying it worked, and now I can get in the gym, I can do the things I love, and it then brings you back down to earth. Like, yeah, we are delicate as a race, and I need to make a plan. What's my consciousness? What do I want to achieve today? Today, I'm going to be pain-free. How am I going to achieve that? I'm not taking drugs. Yeah, I took painkillers because pre-surgery, and I put 9 kilograms on. I was heavy. I was fat. I felt unhealthy, and I said, "This is it. I'm done." So I had surgery, stopped the painkillers. Period. Now the body needs to heal itself. So then I was out of pain, getting step for step, flying then from the Netherlands to Dubai. I had to sit without a backrest because you couldn't touch my spine. It hurt that much. And then I said, right, now my journey starts to improve. So I had goals, achievements. And now, like I say, the 1st of March, I'm out on a golf course in Chile, Dubai, where I can talk and explain the emotion going through it. So any golfer, it doesn't matter on what level they are, if you've got back issues, work out why. That's number one. You got to work out what is creating or cause of the pain. Once you know the cause, you know what you need to change. And then give yourself time to change, and you're being aware. It could be the way you stand. It could be the way you sit. It could be a lot of little different things. Stick to that plan and give yourself that goal. And believe me, it works. I've experienced it. You know, Tiger's experienced it. McIlroy's, all the greats have experienced it. And going through process, same as a change in the golf swing, changing the way your health environment is, yeah, I might be able to play golf again. That'd be so cool, that I can actually hit a 7-iron without being in pain. Yeah, that might be in 6 months' time. But step for step, if I can get through my daily life, I can get through my working, my coaching, and I can be healthy, that's a massive change to what it was in 6 months.
What caused the spine issue? If you could share with us, and maybe people they can learn from your experience and the journey from the rehab. I mean,
I was actually born with a fused spine. So that my thoracic spine, there was 3 bones fused. So what I was having it with my golf, I had a compensational lumbar spine and a compensational thoracic spine movement in the neck. So I was playing, you know, as a kid, and the body then just at one point said, I can't take this anymore. So it was overworked. Obviously I was in the gym, I was getting stronger, healthier, a little bit like Tiger, but I didn't have the knowledge that my golf swing needed to change. So I got miscoached, you could say. So I was doing the same, I need to get the vertical energy, need to get more radial resistance and hit it. Yeah, I was getting a club head speed of 126 miles an hour. You know, 49 years old, not too bad. And then the body just says, no more. And that hurt. That was really, wow. Okay, so I'm going to stop something I love. No, that's not going to happen. I'm going to research why. Went to a neurologist, he checked, looked, he said, okay, this is what's happened. So we're going to do point 1 first. So put some cortisone injections in. He said, okay, within a month, it should be better. Within 3 hours, I was pain-free. 4 a day. And that's one day where you say, now I've started the journey, we're going to work out how we're going to complete it. So I went back to the hospital. I said, yeah, it helped temporarily. He said, sometimes we might need to do more. Done it again, 2 cortisone injections, and you're going, oh, that feels less tight. So there's something's happening temporarily. And then went back again. I said, look, it's great, but I can't keep having the setbacks. So we done scans, we looked at it, and then they noticed that I said the middle part of my spine was actually fused from at birth. He said, so this is what is happening. You've got overcompensation. We're going to do a scan to really see exact. So what they noticed is I've got a double neck hernia, and I've got arthritis in my neck through all the, unfortunately, the amount of thousands of golf balls I hit from a child up until last year, you could say. And the lower back was also a compensation, so it has kept altering a movement, which is not good. So he said, look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to get the 7 nerves left, 7 nerves right. We're going to kill them. You're going to be pain free. You know, yeah, great. But they'd done the operation, and the second, because I had to do it in 2 phases.
Like for the teeth.
Huh?
Like for the teeth.
Yeah.
Same principle.
Temporary. But
they kill the nerve.
yeah, the same as if you kill a nerve in your mouth. But they've done it on my spine. So I'm lying on this table, and they've done on the right side, number 1. Yep, no worries. And then they went into number 2. I can't explain the pain when they put a needle in that nerve. And it was so painful, I said, you have to stop. He said, I'm sorry, so we have to continue. And they got exactly the part that was creating the issues. And then they finished it off. And like I said, I couldn't really sit. I couldn't lie down, couldn't stand. Walking was hurting. So my whole life went, okay, how are we going to do this? And then, like I said, I followed the journey to where I am now, where I'm sat talking to you pain-free.
I'm sure you had a good surgeon.
It was a guy that wanted to get the answers. So a neurologist that looked deeper than the rest. I think I got lucky being recommended. It was in a different country, so I didn't get helped in the Netherlands. I went to Belgium, and met the right guy. It's the same as when amateurs or people go to golf coaches. The successful golf coach, why are they successful? And I think because they look at it in a different angle to the Joe average, you could say. And then you get a good reputation and a good name because you get results. And that's a little bit of where I was recommended to this neurologist. He said, right, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and he had a plan. It's a little bit, again, he was aware of what he needed to check, and he explained it, and he sharing knowledge.
He was feeling your pain.
Yeah, but golf coach, had to stop playing golf. He felt the emotion that I had, and he said, I'm going to help you. And I will help you, and he's done it. And I see him when I fly back in April. Yeah, he's going to get a nice present. And I think the kindness coming from a patient, a player, showing the respect that they've given to help. That's more than anything that you can give to a person. Thank you. You've changed my life. You've changed my career. And it's the appreciation that's more important than the rectification. And that's how we need to be as humane people.
How are you going to adapt to the new swing and the new posture to play golf? Do you have any idea to share with us?
That's a good one. Again, through listening. I think the interview with Tiger said it's possible. Yeah? Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my technology, I'm going to get my force plates out, I'm going to get my TrackMan out, and I'm going to hit pitches. And I might even put myself on the 3D to look at my rotations a little bit more into depth if I was to screen a player for the first time. But now I've got the history or the medical history of this is possible, this isn't possible. I can then look at my angles and my rotations to get the torsion without creating irritations. So it's going to be a lot of research and working things out as the reaction in 2 days. So I will do something, I'll change. In 2 days' time, have I got pain? Because it could be that you don't get immediate pain. It takes time for the body to get irritated. If it hurts straight away, you know it's wrong. Yeah, but change, okay, what's different? And then I will talk to physios from, okay, I've got this and this, can you have a check? And then I'm going to give myself a journey of a year just to see if I can play golf again. And it's they say in Dutch, you're going to give yourself, I deserve to play golf again. Give myself the time. So there's no such thing as a quick fix. Oh, there is. Oh, I'm slicing it. Okay, stand different, put the ball there, and it's going to be a quick fix. But under pressure, things won't work out. But I'm not going to put myself under pressure to play golf. If I can, fantastic. If I can't, no one can turn around and say you didn't try. No one can turn around and say you didn't give it your utmost to become better. And that's how I would see it, and that's how I will create it even with players. If they are on the tour or the best amateurs in the world, there's always reasonings why, and you can always get better.
What do you think is the key to play or to be performant under pressure? Do you have any suggestion?
I think pressure could be used as a very healthy state of mind. I like that. How do you deal with pressure? It's going back to what we said at the start: awareness, consciousness, and sticking to process. If you know that your stock shot works, your stock shot's going to work if it's to win a major or if it's to win a club championship. It will work. But if you're doubting and you're seeing the negatives, that will actually work against you. So you will hit the miss hit. But you've got to stick with positive process. Check the wind. What's the distance? Is it warm? Is it cold? Go through everything you would check if it's the first tee shot or if it's the last swing on a championship or if it's the last putt. Still stick to the same processes and you will succeed. There was I was coaching Joost Luiten, and first time he won the KLM Open in the playoff against Jimenez. I know that as if it's yesterday. He said on that playoff hole, my mum can make this putt. So he's put himself, yeah, if my mum can make it, I can make it. He holds it, wins his first event. Gets to number 28 in the world because of self-belief. And that's how, if he can do it, I see him winning another 2-3 times this year. I actually said 2 times, and he's had 2/3. So he's back on track. The guy is such a talented player. Lost a little bit of trust, but where did that come from? The frustrational attributes. And it's finding those answers and looking in the mirror in whys. Are you honest to yourself? If it's a yes, you can be honest to others. If it's a no, then why aren't you honest to yourself? Awareness. So, and then from that, I can look myself in the mirror and really believe in what I've achieved is because I believe in what I achieve. And I've worked with yourself for 4 years, and that's got me the best learning experience where we're sitting down now, awareness, consciousness, process, it's the same with every single aspect in the game.
We learned from each other.
Yeah, but sharing our knowledge, we had phone calls where I'd never forget, I'm in the lounge or doing dinner, you phone, and then I drop because I know it's important to talk to you. Getting your knowledge, sharing your knowledge, you asking me questions, a little bit like this, and we become both more knowledgeable to share.
Of course.
And you're sharing my achievements, I share your achievements. I spoke to Fatia and I learned this and this, and this is how it is. Why? Because she studied it. She studied how the brain, the electrodes give the connections and so it has to work. I've got things from YouTube from you, which an hour I'm listening to, making notes and filtrating that information that I can explain it to a client. It works. So through that knowledge base, we're getting more people better. And if they can explain that little bit of what we know, other people are going to get better. Seeding it, yeah. And I like that, and I think it's, especially in this world now, it's really important. Sharing, caring, and producing.
In your opinion, in self-awareness and consciousness, this is the question I like to ask you directly. You know that. What can we do or say or advise someone, player, for example, golfer, amateur or professional, to be more self-aware, like from hole number 1 to the 18, like being in the now moment?
Yeah, that is such a it's a tough question to ask.
I love that.
It's a tough question to ask, but the experiences that I've had being in the now and not stepping ahead. I had a guy, when was it? It was actually not that far. He was saying I was already on the winning speech before the job was done. I said, well, there's your failure. He said, what do you mean? I said, you've just proven it. So if you're in the now and you're sticking, which I've mentioned a few times, you're sticking to process, and you've got the awareness of what's happening around you, but then you can shut the external factors off and stick to what you can achieve, what you want to do. The result on the shot is a reaction of us. We know that on golf, irrelevant if you're a beginner or the best player in the world. It's all result because of what we've done as a player, or as a person. And if it works out, if you've got the awareness, you can work out, shoot, I done that. Okay, next shot, doesn't matter, I'm not going to do that again. Awareness. Okay, so I'm walking down the fairway, and then have general conversation with a caddy, a guy next to you, to get you back down to earth, asking the correct questions. So being a caddy is also very important to get the player down. Okay, don't forget, this is what we spoke about, what you've discussed with your mental coach or your technical coach, to get you down for the awareness. I want to hit that shot. So Carl Morris, does the swing create the shot, or does the shot create the swing? Powerful question. What do you do as a player? Well, for myself, I'm visual. I say I'll hit the shot. I just see that shot and I'll do it. And because of maybe the hundreds of thousands of balls I've hit, I can do it. Could I do it under pressure? No, that's why I'm a coach. But at least you can explain the emotion of why I couldn't do it, why it didn't succeed. So what did you do? Well, I didn't have the finances. So every shot, if I didn't make the cut, I had to sleep in the car. I couldn't afford the hotel. That's quite a big pressure, you could say, as for an 18, 19-year-old that wants to make it. Yeah, okay, at least I knew the answer. You know, and how could I have created the positivities? If I had the finances, I could ask someone that knew. But I didn't have anyone around me that could help me get past that barrier. You know, it's a big hurdle. But now I've experienced it, I can explain it to my players. And I've got a big knowledge base that I've developed in the last 25 years as being a coach. I know a lot of people in the field, and I can recommend those people to players. So you're not alone. And I think when you are alone, it's tough. So sharing the knowledge, it's going back to it, isn't it?
Essential. Huh?
Yeah.
How about the player and the caddy, the coach? What did they feel when player missed the cut? How they have to face this?
I think the people from the outside that aren't in the inner ring, as you and I think the distraughtness, you feel nauseous because of the emotion that a coach has with a player, because of how the caddy is involved with the player, but also how the three are communicating. It's the most hot. It's almost sad when you see one of your guys miss the cut. It's just as sad as the excitement as when they win. Because we only want to, we like to see success every week. Sometimes it's possible, sometimes it's not possible, depending on the situation, the emotional state, how did they wake up, how did they sleep. So when a player is not successful, there's an emotional block. But the first thing I do, I let them calm down. I phone them. So tell me about it. What happened? Or I WhatsApp, and they will. And this is what is the scary thing. Mentally, I weren't there. But how? How weren't you there mentally? Did you stick to the process? Did you stick this? Doubt. Negativity. Doubt is negative. So if doubt is in the mind, but why? What was going through you where you had your doubt? And then they come up with an answer. Okay, so how can we improve that? So I'm always asking the question to get the positive answer out of it, where they say, I can do that and that. So they come up with the answer, and where they come up with the answer, they have the self-belief because it comes from themselves. And that's how I get it. So the next week, okay, we've got a new week, fresh start. We're not going to do that mistake again. Look at a good example, Dan Housing. The 2 weeks, he miscut at the Rodix in Abu Dhabi. Then we had a great discussion. I was present at Desert Classic, makes the cut. Putter was cold because of a mental factor. Did you speak to your putting coach? Yes. Blah, 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 blah. Worked on it. Week after, makes the cut. Week after, makes the cut. Week after, makes the cut. On the number. And he goes birdie birdie on the Friday to make the cut. As a coach, I can't explain how good that felt. See, you can do it. A little bit of a hiccup. India, tough golf course. Really, really difficult track. But he managed to go birdie birdie to make the cut. So he's achieved it. What's my objective? Fairways greens. Okay. Fairways greens creates the worst score of X. Okay. Once you've got that, you make the cuts. Then you can move forward. What's my next goal? What do I want to achieve? So you've got your micro goal, you've got your mid goal for a long-term goal. Every week has a goal. What do I want to achieve on a Thursday? What do I want to achieve on a Friday? What do I want to achieve on a Saturday? Sunday, my position, what do I want to achieve in the rankings? And every week it's the same, week in, week out. And for Dan, it was fairways, greens, make the cut. Fairways, greens, make the cut. Now you're starting to get making the cuts. Then we can start attacking pins. Then you're going to start getting more birdie chances. A little bit of how every beginning tour pro has to start. You can't go out there and say I'm going to attack every pin and miss every cut, 4, 5, 6, 7 cuts on the bounce, because what's that going to do with your mind process? I'm not good enough. So you start going into a negative self-talk. So again, the power of the mind is so strong in our sport, because it's the only sport we've got time to think. We're above the ball, we've got time to think. No, shot clock. What? I said, so the minute you stand and hit the shot, you've got 10 seconds to hit the ball. 10 seconds. So we're going to work on a shot clock to get rid of the extra, the bogeyman inside the head, because that's going to kill you. So we start working on that, and then all of a sudden, like you say, you know, the rest is the chain reaction of that. So it's quite, I'll say it's quite cool.
Okay, we will wrap it with a few questions, maybe just 2, 3. What is meaning of golf, meaning of life, and meaning of consciousness?
Golf is my life, really. I've been playing it since I've been 8. It is a big part of my life. It's a part of my family's life. But the consciousness for me, that was, the big wake up when I was getting more of what I was doing as a person. I do remember someone says to me, be conscious from the minute you wake up how your day-to-day morning is. I'd done that, and I could tell you to the second what I do and how I do it. I was aware of how I brush my teeth, how I start drying myself, what foot I put the sock on, and the sequencing how I do things. And you know what? Even now I could time and tell you how long it takes me to make a cup of coffee. It's like a gift. The consciousness is the most important thing in life, in sport, in everything we want to achieve. If we're aware of what we're doing, the mistake element becomes less. And if you say, oh, where are my keys? Well, you've done something without realizing you've done something. Learn from that. Or why did I 3-putt? Why did I hit that miss hit? Why did I miss the junction on the motorway? Because you weren't aware. You weren't at that moment busy with yourself in what you want to do. There was an external happening where you had no control. And this is as a coach, players, husband, father, being aware of now and having a plan. Yeah, you can have a day list. I say to my wife, today I want to achieve this, and she's like I'm mental, but I have a list of what I want to achieve in a day. The satisfaction of achieving that is amazing. I want to make a change to my young kid that was on the golf course today. What do I want to achieve? Awareness. He's 11 years old. I want him to be aware, conscious, and knowledge. Why did that happen? And we were playing here at the JA. We were playing 9 holes. The good shots. What happened? And then he'd hit a miss hit with an iron. He knew exactly what he'd done wrong. How many 11-year-olds can say that? I knew my foot moved, which resulted in that golf shot. So what are we going to do on this next one? I'm going to be more conscious in how I prepare for my next golf shot. How strong is that coming from a child? You know, and if it works for a child, it's going to work for us as adults. So going back to the question, what's important in life, golf, consciousness? The consciousness makes my life, and it is how it is. I can't go left or right upon that. It really does. It matters that I know what I'm doing. I can't control it. Certain things happen that we can't control from external factors. But if I'm aware of what I want to achieve, that's massive. It really is.
Well, you've been able to teach this to someone who is 11 years old. I think we should all learn about consciousness and being grateful and for golf, for everything. Just thanks to consciousness.
Yeah, but that is it. And I think Rory has mentioned it a few times in interviews. If I'm not conscious, this happens. So I think all the greats actually are mentioning it more and more now. Back in the day, British Masters, I think we had a really big discussion in the clubhouse about the awareness, about consciousness, and how powerful it is. You produced a player that went into top 28 in the world.
We did together.
We done it together, and again, I would never have been able to say I achieved that as a coach without being guided.
We've been, yeah.
And it was the discussions, this is what's happening, why? Because I didn't know the answers. Yeah, in 2010, 2011. 2013, 2014, I'm walking the fairways at Augusta. Again, how? Because I followed that process. I got my player more conscious, aware. We've done the preparation for that. And together we produced a lot of good golfers. And guys, you know, if you want to change one thing, awareness and consciousness is the big thing. I can't say anything else about that, because things happen for a reason. And if you don't know why, then work it out. You've got to become conscious.
Well, thank you. And if you have to thank someone or send hello or whatever, you just take the opportunity.
I'd like to thank everyone that believes in me. Without you guys, I could never sit here saying I've been successful. Because if you've got no one to be successful with, you can also not be successful. So everyone that's out there, that's watching it or listening, thank you for believing in me, and the people that come in the future, thank you as well. And that is the big thing in my life, privately and business-wise. You're with me because you believe in what I believe in, and that creates the rest and the ease towards change. So yeah, more than that I can't say.
Thank you.